Good morning and welcome to worship this morning at First Presbyterian Church in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Throughout the pandemic and during our time or this season of online worship, I have often used spaces in and around my home as backdrops for videos of prayers, scripture readings, and my sermons. Sometimes I chose to use the spaces of my yard with the sound of birds and cicadas and the cool shade of the trees as a particularly soothing and centering focal point. Just last time we worshiped together online 2 weeks ago, our prayers as a people were shot in my backyard. I'm choosing to be here this morning because the twisted limbs and exposed roots behind me accurately reflect how many of us are still feeling. Creation is indeed joining us in groaning for salvation. And yet, if you listen closely, maybe not too closely because you can also hear the chainsaws that are now going in my neighborhood, but if you listen closely, you will hear that there are still birds and cicadas. You might even hear the rustle of the many chipmunks that are having a heyday out in their new landscape. As surely and slowly as nature also tries to knit herself back together, even as we are doing the same in our own community. For God's presence can be made known to us even amongst downed trees and hurting people as we care for each other and creation. Now this week at First Presbyterian, we're going to try to re-enter a little normalcy this week at church and convene a few of the meetings that all have been postponed over the last couple of weeks. However, I will say that it's still a pretty dicey prospect at the moment. Internet service is down to most of our members, and mine has also not been restored, so it gets hard to do our video meetings. One of the issues of COVID. More importantly, however, we are continuing to serve the community in a variety of ways. We have a number of different ways, opportunities for service. One is providing child care through the Catherine McCauley Center. That's a morning volunteering opportunity. We're reaching out and working with Heritage Agency on Aging to do well person checks for the elderly in our community. And also I'm trying to connect people with cleanup efforts throughout our city. We are using Presbyterian Disaster Assistance in conjunction with United Way and the Presbytery of East Iowa to help out homeowners throughout Cedar Rapids, but I'm also have had the opportunity to organize some member-to-member work groups as we support each other as a congregation. It is such a blessing indeed to hear how people are coming together in our community and walking this road of recovery together. Oh, it's been a long week, hasn't it? Anyway, now let us join together in worship, finding strength in God's presence yet again for another week. Let us worship God.